Welcome to the Creature Cast, the official Console Creatures podcast. I'm your host today, Steve Ekvar, and alongside me, as always, my good pal Bobby. How the heck are you today?
I mean, we're post the Game Awards, so I'm doing amazing. I feel like that weight is off my shoulders, so
Yeah,
I'm thriving today. What about you?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, we are post Game Awards. We both made the decision to watch it from home. We didn't go out to
Yeah,
LA. We didn't get into the busyness of that, which kind of worked into our favor of being able to just sit down. Take a moderate amount of time to kind of just sit with it, sit with all the awards, the announcements,
yeah,
everything in between, and then kind of get together and kind of talk about it. But yeah, I'm feeling really good. It's we're nearing the end of the year. We're recording this on December 12th. It's hard to believe there's only a couple weeks left in
hmm
2025. Um, but yeah, I feel like we're in a really good spot to close out the year for the show. I figured, we're going to talk about the Game Awards this year or this week. I assume probably talk about our personal game of the year next week, and then
yeah,
kind of just start winding down for the year and come back real strong in 2026 to talk
yeah.
about a ton of games, because as we've seen now from the Game Awards, 2026 is going to be a hell of a lineup across the board. So there's gonna be a lot of interesting things to talk about.
I totally agree with you. I was at maybe the halfway point last night where I'm like, this is really good, but like I'm ready to talk about what's left this year and like just to wrap up because like there have been a lot of games and like I'm just like racking my brain right now trying to think of how many I played this year because I know I've easily gone over 200 games this year just to play them, and like
Yeah,
that blows my mind. And yeah, 2025 has just been an incredible year. It's just been fun to play games this year.
hmm
I know that obviously the industry's a mess right now, and it will be for the foreseeable future. But I
yeah,
mean, the output that we've gotten in the last year has just been insane. Like some of the best games I played in the last like 6 to 7 years were this year. Like it blows my mind that it's only been 12 months, and I'm excited to talk about like next week our top games, our game of the year. I mean, obviously that's going to be a big discussion, but like I know that people are you know calling it a rigged year or whatever they're calling it, but like you know what, I'm ready to talk about why things are the way they are for my game of the year picks and top
sure.
games and all that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, like you said, there's been no shortage of really good games this year. And yeah, to kind of parse through and start talking about why those games really impacted us over the months and months, it's going to be a lot of fun. But that's another week. This week, well, to begin, I want to talk about a couple games, and then we'll talk about the Game Awards, some high level impressions of the show overall, and then some announcements that really stuck out to us, because there were a fair number of really cool announcements being made. But obviously, to not bury the lead at all, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 really did earn its sweep. It had already broken records from being nominated, I think, across 13 categories, and then walked away with 9 awards across those categories. So
Surprise too, right? I think that was the record they said.
that was the
Most.
record, yeah. So it was the most amount of wins from a single studio, and it left really no other categories for doubles across all the other remaining categories. You got a Hollow Knight Silk Song won one, Battlefield got one, and so forth. But yeah, it was very interesting to see. Were you surprised at all?
No, I mean, having played most of those games, I mean, it made sense, right? I mean, that's kind of what I feel like where the divide is. Like maybe someone didn't play X game or skipped out on Y or played this, but like I feel like if you played the games nominated, you kind of knew what was going to happen, and like I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, I've been singing my praises of Clair Obscur since it came out, and before then, like I thought it was like the coolest game in the world, and everyone seems to agree with me. Everyone seems to be in that same boat this year. It's like
Hmm.
this is a game to beat, right? And you know what? It's not a knock about any against any of the other games, but like ultimately, like, this is the game that swept because it really was like the peak of everything: peak of game design, peak of gameplay, peak of art. the peak of music. Everything was just firing on all cylinders. And as you know, you've been playing it. Like
Yep.
it does not let up. It's been incredible from start to credits. It's like it never lets up, and like that's what I loved about it. There's no real gap to be like, well, it's kind of slowing down here. It's all gas.
Mm.
I love that about it. And paired with a shorter runtime, it was perfect. Like everything kind of came out on top because it wasn't indulgent.
Sure. Yeah, I'm really happy for the team at Sandfall. I think I was
It's a great
really
story, man. I feel like it's a great story for Sandfall. Like they want to make
sure.
the game they did, and they nailed it.
Yep. Yeah, and I
No,
was really happy that I got a chance to go out and play it and make time for it because obviously I'm not a huge, as people know, I'm not a huge fan of JRPGs, but I felt like, as many people have been talking about and you've been praising it and everything, I was like, I gotta at least play it and I gotta at least give it a shot. Maybe give it like 10 hours. If it hooks me, it hooks me. If it doesn't, and at least I tried it and I can kind of, dip my feet in the water and at least see what other people are seeing in this game. And yeah, I don't think I've been this quickly hooked by something unique and new in quite some time. Probably since maybe even Death Stranding, like the first game. Like the way this game pulls you into this original universe. You don't really know what's going on. You're kind of just taken by the hand and just guided through the rules of this universe, who these characters are, and yeah, everything from the characters to the music to the art style to the storytelling to yeah, just the pacing of it all. And I mean, I don't exactly know how far I am. I'm deep into, well, not deep, probably still relatively moderately like early on into Act 2.
yeah,
But that being said, I mean,
no, I
the
mean,
internet as a whole probably I'm trying to be, cagey about certain things because I'm sure that coming out of the Game Awards, a lot of people are probably more interested if they haven't already played it. So I don't want to give away like spoilers or anything like that. But something happens at the end of Act 1. And
which I just want to chime in.
yeah.
I wrote something about, and
Mhm.
you should probably go read it because it is very important to read, and rightfully so. So yeah, check that out.
Okay,
Just,
interesting. Yeah.
just do it in. It's all my feeds. You can read it, but like it really shows that the creative director is a man of this a man of this genre. Like he obviously
Mm,
understands it, and like his influences from his childhood are you can see it in full display. Like there are things that happen and have happened. You've already experienced it, but
yeah,
what you experience is something I experienced when I was playing a certain game at like 10 years old. It was like a
sure.
very monumental Final Fantasy VII moment,
I know what you mean.
which which I mean it's why I feel it's so monumental was, and I said it's just it's a moment you never expect to happen, and then when it happens, you don't know what to do, and it's kind of like traumatizing a generation. And that's all I'll say about it. But like, I mean, if you're playing Clair Obscur and you played Final Fantasy VII, read this article after you beat both.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that part was unexpected.
Unexpected,
It
and it was
hit.
well done. That was
It
kind
was
of
well
a lot
done.
of
It
it.
was
Yeah.
beautiful. It was sad. It was yeah, and then yeah, you kind of get thrust into this whole new era,
Then the
new
curtains pulled
core
back.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
the
yeah,
curtains pulled
I
back.
thought it was expertly well done, and I've just been yeah, kind of going through it, continuing on. But as it's kept my attention, it's kept me. The only thing I will say is like again, turn-based games just don't do it for me. So as much as everything. Thankfully, the combat and has so much style, and then yes, as people
Yeah,
have pointed out, critics and everything about the dodge and the parry system and stuff like that. I think it adds to the experience, but to the same point, I wish it was just a little bit faster paced. I wish that there was just a bit better. Yeah, just a bit better pace because yeah, going through menus, I do appreciate how easy they make it to select what you want to be doing, whether it's um, using an item or using your special abilities versus just a
yeah.
straight attack and everything. I think that it does get rid of some of those pacing issues as far as combat goes. But yeah, it's again, it's just my own nitpicks with the genre. But that being said, I think that this is the most fluid and
It's the most
engaging
accessible.
JRPG since
Yeah.
probably like Rebirth and Remake.
Yeah. I would say it's the most accessible
Sure.
for people who don't play them.
It's difficult though.
It's
It's
difficult,
yeah,
100%.
even on this like normal mode, the one that they kind of just like start you out on, I was like, holy shit, I'm getting my teeth kicked in by some of these boss battles.
And it gets harder. So I mean, like,
That's what
you
I've
know,
heard.
yeah. So I mean, obviously the big thing is like the luminas and stuff, and having to you know build your lumina layout, your loadouts, and like that's really fun. It's important stuff, and like thankfully they added that new feature last night where you can
Mhm.
make loadouts of your stuff. So like, I mean, I would take full advantage of it and look up some builds because like once
Mm.
you get into the later stages, you unlock like damage barriers, and you can deal so much damage, and like it's fun to like one shot super powerful bosses, and like
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like I advise anyone who's not aware, just go watch like a combo video of people doing glass cannons where like they can one shot the strongest boss in the game, which is insane.
Oh, that's really
Uh,
cool. Yeah, I did wonder, like, as I'm building out these characters and their, the respective powers and everything, I was like, I wonder if there are like, is there like a meta out there, or are there builds for these
oh
characters?
yeah,
Because
oh yeah, 100. There are a
I'm not
lot more.
surprised, but that's interesting to hear.
Yeah, and it is really cool because I mean, once you figured out your main party, which was like the first thing I feel like everyone should be doing is like your party, just like buff them, give them everything they need, give them all the items that they would need to get stronger, give them the best luminas, give them the lumina points, give them everything because
Mhm.
they're your damage dealers, right? And you want to make sure they're able to basically you know deal just that damage out. So
Yep.
there's a lot of freedom in this game. Like it's a surprising amount of freedom. So like that's what I like about Clair Obscur is it's not very RPG-ish in the fact that everything's like in a box. It's just like there are role playing systems, but like
Yep.
you're allowed to just mix and match how you want to interact with these systems, and it's cool. That's what I love about it. And it's such a unique world, such a unique idea. It's just an impressive game.
Yep.
So I'm glad that you're kind of resonating with it, and like
I
it's
am a lot. Like I have some qualms about the combat, but outside of that, I think everything is kind of firing on all cylinders. I can recognize how
yeah,
special of a game this is, and how um, obviously dedicated and inspired this team was when they were making it. So I'm hoping to power through a lot of it over the weekend, and then by the time we get to doing our game of the year, I can close the book on this game and kind of be able
yeah.
to really factor it into my list, because I think it's worth the playthrough. And for anyone that's in the similar position as me, who's like, I don't really care about JRPGs, or this kind of style of game just kind of felt overbearing or anything like that. Coming out of the Game Awards, I do recommend
It's
checking
yeah,
it out.
it's a smart game. It's not like a typical and this is kind of my knock against JRPGs can be really um, tenuous, and like I don't like that
Yes.
about them. But like this is one that really respects your time, your intelligence, and like it rewards you for investing your time into this game. And like what games do that these days? Like I can't tell you the amount of games that I've played this year that just ate my time for no reason.
Yeah, that's so
And
true.
like Assassin's Creed Shadows, prime example.
Yep.
Great shake up to the core of Assassin's Creed. I liked it, but man, just I spent hours wasting time doing stupid things where they don't matter. It's like I don't need to be, climbing a viewpoint to try and get like up to fill out the map. That's not stuff I care about anymore. It's like I'm down for the viewpoint, but like I don't need to like now then have to go to this point to fill the rest of the map. It's just like just let me do it the way it's intended. And like I don't know, Expedition 33 just is like I said, all gas, no brake, and it's just like I respect that so much. Like it's a lean, crisp, cold beer on a hot summer day for me.
Sure. I
It's the
do.
only refreshing thing.
The only part that I would wish that kind of wasn't in part of the game was not the overworld, but when you're kind of like from a top-down perspective and you're kind of navigating this more open world and kind of going through the different like portals and everything. I'm
Yeah,
like, I wish it was just a straightforward, hey, we're going from this area to this area to this area. I do wish that they kind of trimmed the fat from that perspective because
yeah.
as much as I'm having fun with it and everything, I'm not really engaging with all these side areas all that much unless there's a collectible or something that I know I should be seeking out there. Otherwise, I'm just kind of golden path in this game.
And you know what? I know you probably will want to do that, but like when you get to Act Three,
Mm.
there's a lot of stuff that's optional that does a really good job to fill in the blanks, and like I highly
Oh,
advise you
interesting.
don't skip it
Okay.
because Act Three is it. I'm not gonna. It's not obviously spoil it, but it's a very lean chapter. So like everything happens in the bulk of Act Two, which you're gonna see later on, and then
Oh,
Act Three
interesting. Okay.
it's just the ending and kind of like an epilogue. So like I had this issue where I did Act Three, but I did everything first. Like instead of pacing myself, I went and did all the side stuff, which was really good. It really tells you more about these characters. But by the time I came back to do the final boss, like I was so over leveled, I could fight and beat them in maybe 2 rounds, and
Oh,
it's like,
cool.
oh, so there's a good pay, there's a good basically like you want to leverage yourself. So like you want to do some optional stuff,
Mhm.
fight the last boss, and then come back and do the rest of the optional stuff.
Got it.
And then it
Okay.
gives you a really good idea of this world and like the stakes of it and like why things are the way they are. And like it is the most satisfying kind of content because it's just like God of War's content, like where it's side content, but like it fills in the gaps of the world and like why things are the way they are. And like that's the kind of content I appreciate, and
Mhm.
that's what you're getting in this game. And I mean, I know some people who skipped it, but I was like, don't skip it. Go back, play this game again. You'll understand and appreciate these characters more because of the stuff you learn.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'll be sure to talk about it more next
Yeah.
week when we're talking about Game of the Year, which will be a very exciting one. Before we get deeper into the Game Awards reactions and announcements and everything like that, we didn't get a chance to talk about Metroid Prime 4
Mhm.
yet. But yeah, you've been playing it. You wrote a review of it. I want to know more. Anything you want to talk about on the show?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if you're like a big Prime person,
I
but
wouldn't say big, but I've played them all.
so yeah, okay. So that's just like me. I'm not. I always prefer the 2D, but like I do
Yeah.
respect the Prime games.
Hmm.
Um, I cleared it. I did the 100%. I got the
Mm.
secret ending. It is a good game. It like no shade on that. I think it is a great game. It's just a game that I mentioned is firmly stuck in the past, and like it rightfully feels like a game from 15 years ago.
It looks like
So,
one too.
you know what? I'm actually torn on it. I think it looks really good. This is probably one of the best looking Nintendo games I've ever played
Really? Yeah.
because on Switch 2 you can get 1080p, 120 frames per second, or you can get 4K 60, and like it looks good either way, right? So I mean, I mean on the C2 BLG, like it looks
Yeah.
incredible. Like I actually think it's probably the best looking Nintendo game I ever played, but more so what I'm saying is like the gameplay it hasn't evolved, and it's basically comes down to do you like Prime? Yeah, okay. What's more of that? You're getting basically that. It's if I had to compare anything, it's Prime X Doom because it plays kind of like a Doom. It's faster.
Mhm.
You're shooting enemies in these arenas and like you're fighting them similar to the way you would fight in Doom and just throwing your powers at them, and it's more of that. So I mean, it's not a bad game by any means. I do think it is a step above Metroid Prime 2 and 3. I still think Prime 1 is the pinnacle of the series, and it's just below that. So take that for what it is. I feel like, does this game worth waiting 8 years for? No. I feel like this is something that was a reinvention. Like it was something that Nintendo wanted to, expand on and do something different when, but
Sure.
it didn't end up working for them. And I feel like they were just like, well, we'll just have to go back to what works. And that's what I feel that delayed development period was about. And that's why it
Mhm.
took 8 years. So I mean, for a Metroid Prime game, it is fun. I think it is. It'll scratch that itch. I mean, there are worst games you could play. I mean, Metroid Other M was probably like the worst Metroid game I've ever played. I know people are also mixed on that one, but I mean, this is a good Metroid game. It's
Yep.
just it's not the best one. I mean, when Metroid Dread exists, like there's really no other reason to say like, hey, like pick this one or that one. Metroid Dread, 10 out of 10 times I'll recommend that over this now. But story wise, it's fine. Metroid's whole thing is like you end up on a planet, you're isolated, you learn about the indigenous people there, the indigenous cultures, and then you're like, well, they went extinct because something happened here, and it's just that
Mhm.
same loop. So it really is the same game. It's just different planet with a little twist at the end. And like that's kind of why I do like what they're doing. So they're setting up Silex as the next big bad, and like
Yeah.
they do a really good job of introducing his backstory towards the end of the game, which I feel was kind of my big crux about this game. Is this like you're introducing this new villain that was only in Prime 3 for a little bit, and
I
then a
know.
Galactic Federation with a handheld game people barely played, and then you bring him to this game, and he's not in it enough to be warranted as the bad guy until like the very end when you're like, oh, so that's why everything's happening, and
Hmm.
it's just I don't know. It feels like it's not the most coherent Metroid game to exist. So, like, I mean, outside of combat, I mean, it's fun. I do like the exploration. I feel like that stuff's it is as good as I remember the other games to be. So, if that's the kind of thing you want, like, please, like, I recommend it. But like, if you're looking for that Metroid Prime one, that high, you won't
Yep.
find it here. And there's just like this. There's just other things about it. Like I know there are a lot of people opinionated about the bike.
Sure.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
I personally do like it. I
Oh.
mean,
Okay.
it's not the most tedious thing. Like I am that person who will put on a podcast, or I'll put on like a movie while I'm playing games, and like I can do both things. So like if I'm on the bike, I could be watching a movie, right? And it's not the most like existential thing I'm witnessing on the screen, right?
Yeah.
It's just like I'm able to sit down, I'm able to enjoy it, and for anyone who drives or has their own car or whatever, like the sheer joy of just being able to get on your bike or in your car and just to drive, like no music, just the sound of the car, and you're just going about, you're just on the roads. That's what I feel like the bike was to me. Like that's the other thing. That's why I didn't really feel like it was a bad, like it was a negative. It was not a negative to me because like there are times where I would just get in my car and drive. I would drive to
Sure.
Niagara,
Sure.
I would
Sure.
drive to Toronto, and it's just like I don't need music. Like why does music need to be the catalyst to be in a bike on a bike or a car? It's like it's just I just feel like that was such a superficial knock against the bike, and like there are worse things. There are so many worse things that Metroid Prime does, and the one thing is the green energy crystals, which is probably the most egregious thing. And
Hmm.
the whole thing of the green crystal, Steve, is you're on this planet.
Yep.
These green crystals are like a life source for this alien race that was on this planet, and they use these crystals to do everything. Like it was how they did the research, how they lived, and your goal is to collect them as you're playing the game. So you're obviously fighting, you're on your bike and you're collecting them, but like it's tedious. That's the only thing I didn't like about this game was I would have to be on my bike and I'd have to go and find crystals.
Yeah.
The driving itself was perfectly fine. I had no issues with it. It was just the padding of like, well, it's a game mechanic and we're tying it into the story, but by the way, it's gonna be really tedious. So like good luck with that. And that was the only big thing I really didn't like about this game. That was mostly it.
No. I mean, out of if that's the only thing, I mean, that's not terrible.
It's not a terrible game by any means. And we have to, be mindful of the fact that, people have waited 8 years for this game. So the level of anticipation and expectations were at an all-time high. So like
Yep.
obviously it's not going to be the game that we all wanted or expected. So I mean, like really, like you set yourself up for that disappointment from day one because you have tied this series to the Wii when it's not been a console for 15 years, and it ended up just I don't know. I ultimately think this is a good game. I really hope it does set up a new trilogy because it does end on that note. So I
Sure.
mean, I just don't want to wait another 15 years for it. So I really hope that if they decide to do a Metroid Prime 5, they just dial back on some of the antiquated stuff. Like I hate the scanning. I think the scanning's stupid. It's
Mhm.
such a big part of this game, and they could automate it. Like just things like that where you need to learn about the environments. Great, I'm down for that. But like, don't make me have to like break what I'm doing to stop and scan something because
Mhm.
I can't get past this point without having to scan it. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, like I gave it a 9. If I really had to think about it, I think I'd have changed it to an 8 at this point. I was just on a really good kick on it. I had so much fun, but it's a good game. I ultimately feel like Metroid is, coming back in a big way. We've had 3 really good games that have come out in the past 5 years, including Metroid Prime Remaster. So,
Oh,
like,
sure. Okay.
yeah, like I feel like it's just like it's a really great time to, finally have this series back. So, like, I feel like
Yeah, my
I'm
hope
all
is
for
that,
it.
given what you said about, Silex, is that this almost reminds me of Rift Apart, where
Yeah,
it's
right.
like, we fans of the series have been waiting for this moment or waiting for like some sort of conclusion to this story thread for so long
Yeah.
that if Prime 5 doesn't come out in the next like 5 years, then it's like, what are we doing? Why are we not pushing the needle a
Yeah.
little more? Why are we not pushing this story a little further? That's how I kind of feel because yeah, the same thing with Rift Apart, where it's like we're still waiting to get to the Lombaxes, and now Insomniac's doing its own thing. So, but that's on the side. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited to play Prime 4. I didn't get a chance to jump into it just yet, but it's one of the 3 games I want to play over the holidays and just kind of power
Yeah. Like,
through and get to it.
100%. Like, it is fun. Ultimately, like, I did
Yeah.
have a lot of fun with it. The bosses are incredible. Like, I
Mm.
feel like that was a highlight. I- if you like that Metroid challenge, it's all there. Like everything you like about Metroid is there. It's more of the same. So like that's what kind of my message is. It's like don't get your hopes up too much. It's more of Prime. It's just it isn't that different. It's a little bit faster. The powers are all the same mostly.
Yep.
Like you get a couple cool different things, but like ultimately, yeah, like it's a familiar experience.
Cool. Awesome. Well, with that all being said, why don't we talk about
Yep.
the meat of this episode? Everyone's doing their own little postmortems of the game awards, privately or publicly, and yeah, it's the annual celebration of video games. So just over 3.5 hours, including the pre-show. There were a ton of announcements, a lot of awards to be given out, as we mentioned before. Clair Obscur walked away a clear winner and ultimate game of the year winner. But yeah, how was your time spent watching the Game Awards? Do you have any comments, criticisms? What do you think of the show as a whole this year?
So ultimately, I think it was a better paced show. I think this is
Mhm.
probably the best pacing it's had so far
Yep.
in terms of just like reveal awards, and that was good. I think it was a little too long. I still hate that it's 3 hours. I really would even prefer maybe if it was going to be 3 hours, start a little bit earlier. So instead of 7:30 Eastern, like maybe 6:30, start a little. Give us that buffer. I mean, because we people who are covering it are basically working till midnight here,
Yeah.
but it was good. I feel like it was a better paced show. I feel like Jeff finally kind of understands that you can't just front load all these commercials and all these ads and all this stuff, and then just leave the awards to the wayside. And there was a lot more speeches this year than I remember in previous years. So like I'm happy that was a thing and like it's all there and it was probably the best showing in like I said in 5 years. And I'm at the same time as good as it was. I'm kind of glad I wasn't there because
Hmm.
outside of maybe like 2 or 3 games, I mean, I I played a lot of them. I just didn't really care to be there for the show. I feel like I kind of prefer Summer Game Fest
Mm.
compared to the Game Awards, just because it's
Sure.
just the timing and the crowds and the environment and just like it's just a different time of the year, right? I mean, Christmas is the main focus now, and that's kind of what we're
Yeah,
all kind of
it's
focused
true.
on. Like in June, you have a lot more freedom to just have your energy there and you're focused on one thing. But yeah, it was good. I think it was good. I'm happy. it's over. I'm mixed on the game reveals. It's kind of where I'm at right now. I feel like there was some good stuff, but some really weird stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll talk about some of those that kind of stood out. I kind of completely agree. I think this is one of the best paced game awards um, that have been in the last few years. So yeah, honestly, I had a ton of fun watching even the pre-show leading into the main show, going through it. I think that they took a lot of good time to um, go through the awards, to intersplice, awards to announcements, and then yeah, into even some of the ads. I felt like the ad breaks weren't that egregious. Obviously, you get to the point where Hoyoverse and Genshin Impact are there,
There's
and you're like,
so
okay,
much.
I guess I'll get up, stretch my legs, I'll grab something and grab a snack or
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
like I was surprised at just how many of like the Hoyoverse games are there, and like Wuthering Waves, and I think there was Enfield, Arc Knight Enfield. Like it was just all these
Mhm.
gotcha games, and it was like I don't mind them. I think they're fun, but like it's just like that's where all the ad money's coming from, because that's where all the money's going into. So it's like it kind of makes sense, but like at the same time, it's just like the commercials are never different. We know what's coming up. It's just here's an update, here's a new character.
Yep.
Here's 2 minutes of your time we're taking up. So yeah, I did the same thing. I just got up, I got a coffee, I got a drink, I stretched, I came back, and then I just continued on with the show.
Yep.
But forget about that. Like I just kind of want to talk about like the reveals, because like
Sure.
that's what we're all here for, right? I mean, I feel like that's kind of what talk of on socials was like what we're gonna see tonight, or tonight, last night.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And I feel like, yeah, I mean, as much of an award show as it is, obviously a lot of people just come in understanding that, hey, this is going to be an announcement show. This is going to be a giant ad and stuff like that. And
Yep.
while you can have your opinions on whether or not that's a good thing or not, this is a major place for game announcements. So yeah, there were quite a few that kind of stuck out to me, and that kind of got me really hyped. I mean, obviously, to no surprise, Control Resonant was a standout for me. We knew
And
Control 2, a sequel was going to be there, but my God, that trailer
I didn't know that's what it was gonna be. So
was
yeah,
insane. It looks phenomenal. Centering it on Dylan instead of Jesse is very interesting. I'm super intrigued on where it goes and stuff like that. The fact that it's coming out in 2026 is even more remarkable. I was not expecting that. I was like, okay, well, maybe we'll see Control 2 in some aspect, and then maybe 2027 if we're lucky. But yeah, 2026, that's really, really exciting to me. And yeah, that trailer was full of so much style. I love the art direction of this game already. And
yeah.
knowing that we're leaving the old house and going into this more broad, kind of like a New York
We're gonna
City
start
area,
seeing, yeah, we're gonna start seeing that bridge between Alan Wake and Control, and I feel
right?
like this is it, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder if, and like we can discuss this later in the new year once we get more information. Like,
Mhm.
is this going to be the same New York we saw in Alan Wake 2? Because we saw that twisted version, and
Mhm.
it looks reminiscent of it.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like it's invoking some sort of New York City vibe to it, which I really
Yeah.
like. But yeah,
Well, they
it's gonna be.
confirmed it's New York. It takes place in Manhattan.
Oh, it does. Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so yeah, I do wonder if it's going to be kind of the same ties, or if there is going to be a lot tying to Alan Wake 2. It's going to be very interesting. I wonder how close Remedy wants to get these franchises to kind of meet together. Because
Yeah.
DLC aside, they obviously have some definite ties, and the FBC was featured remarkably in Alan Wake 2. So I wonder how that's going to pair in the Control
Yep.
universe now.
I just, yeah, I can't wait to learn more about it. Like, I was waiting for like the press to come in, but like it was just like it's just like you're playing as Dylan, you're gonna be in Manhattan, and you're gonna kind of see the flip side of what was happening uh, during and after Jesse's story. Because now basically what I was reading is you're playing as Dylan, but he's working for the FBC now.
Right. Yeah, which is very exciting. And then there's this whole, idea that Jesse's gone rogue and you got to go out and find her and stuff like that. I think it's very compelling.
Yeah, so like I'm all for it. I think is probably my second favorite reveal of the night.
Okay, well, hit me with your first favorite.
So it's a tie between there's two games: Tomb Raider Catalyst
Interesting. Yep.
and obviously Fate of the Old Republic, Star
Of
Wars. I
course.
think those are
Yeah.
my two of my biggest reveals that I think were one was super surprising. The other one was like, oh yeah, it kind of made sense. I mean, we obviously knew Tomb Raider was going to be there, but like,
Yep.
I'm glad to see we're not just getting one game, we're in two of them, and one's a remake and one's looks like a sequel to the Survivor trilogy. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I thought it was a very strong kind of 1-2 punch of having the Tomb Raider come out and be like, "Oh, here's, a Catalyst, and, we're doing 2027," and then having the remake of the first game for 2026. It's very, very compelling. I think that's really strong and kind of brings the IP back in a big way. Um, yeah, and, another one for me, was, Star Wars: Fate of the Old Republic. I thought right away, the trailer kind of invoked some strings of intergalactic, but as soon as the audio cue kind of hits, you start thinking, man, this is giving Star Wars vibes. Starts going through, and then yeah, you kind of get the beat of, yeah, this is an old Republic game and set in the Star Wars universe. And then yeah, the major, I think, talking point of this entire thing is that it hails now from the director of Casey Hudson, who worked on things like Mass Effect and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. So I mean, this is clearly just an early concept trailer, just kind of announcing it. Uh, Casey Hudson has just put together this team earlier this year in Canada, so it's a very exciting thing, but we're not gonna be seeing this game anytime soon, so unfortunately, we're gonna be waiting a very long time for this, but still very interesting, and, I didn't see this coming whatsoever. It was one of those things where, uh yeah, I was just so happy and delighted that this kind of showed up really, really early in the show, kind of set the precedent of like, okay, we're gonna get this caliber of game reveals throughout the evening. It wasn't one of those things that were one last thing. Which, speaking of, I do want to pull in a audience question from Gamer Graham asking, how does High Guard look like Concord 2 to the team? And for those that didn't get a chance to watch the show, at the end of the Game Awards for the quote unquote the one last thing, Jeff Keighley introduced High Guard, which is being made by developers of Apex Legends as well as Titanfall. And it starts out, it looks really cool. You're getting some slide mechanics, you're getting some first person shooting mechanics and stuff like that. And then it kind of the realization, at least to me, that this game was a hero shooter kind of took the wind out of the entire announcement for me. I thought High Guard was a very, very weak and strange way to end it. I know on paper, announcing a game coming from the studio or just, coming from some of the team that worked on Apex and Titanfall should be something that excites me. So a fan of both of those games, but yeah, coming into 2026 with a free to play hero shooter doesn't really do all that much for me. Overwatch has never done much for me. Marvel Rivals doesn't do anything for me, and Marvel Rivals currently has the zeitgeist of this genre right now. It's gotten everyone talking, and yeah, just kind of understanding that there's going to be another one entering the fray and kind of trying to steal people's time and energy just doesn't really do all that much for me. So to me, I thought I was really, really disappointed in this one. It just kind of felt like it just took the wind out of my sails. This is like 3.5 hours of announcements and hype and excitement, and you get the lead, and you're looking at the clock, and you're like, wow, you've got 10 minutes left. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Is it gonna be Half-Life 3? Is it gonna be, I don't know, Elder Scrolls 6? What the hell are we doing? And then it's High Guard, and it just ultimately didn't really speak to me. We did get some more audience questions, which of course you lovely audience members can always write to us, whether it's on social media or within the Creature Cast or Console Creatures Discord. You can always reach out to us and inquire about things that we're playing and what you guys are playing as well. But Matt Silversoul host of PlayStation Generation, our sister show, asked, Steve, did you finish Expedition 33? And if not, why are you podcasting and not playing? Well, the thing is, Matt, I can multitask. I can do two things at once. I can play a video, not at once, but I'm just saying I can play Expedition 33, and I'm getting through it at a rapid pace, Matt. But I can also podcast. I can do this. I can take an hour out of my time, out of my Friday, to entertain the masses, to entertain all of you guys, because you guys are incredible support systems, and we really appreciate you guys listening every single week when we go and publish one of these episodes. It's always a delight and a blast. Then we have Black Wyvern, who says, I'm super excited that we got a date for Lego Batman Legacy of Dark Knight as my second most anticipated game after Wolverine. Which, of course, obviously, Wolverine's going to be a massive game for 2026. That's going to be a day one for me. Also excited to see 2 games for Tomb Raider, which we just kind of talked about, which is very exciting for the series. But what I was hoping to see some gameplay on Prince of Persia Remake. That is a very interesting point there, Black Wyvern, because there were a couple of games that I was kind of surprised that weren't involved in the Game Awards whatsoever. Prince of Persia Remake was one of them. It feels like that game is just kind of on the precipice of being released, and somehow they're still not talking about it. I felt like maybe in one universe that game could have been here.
Prince of Persia Remake, the first one, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't see that or Black Flag Remake.
One of the two, right? It felt very odd.
And Rogue Prince of Persia's out, I believe, today. I'm like, there wasn't even like an announcement for that from Ubisoft. Like nothing.
No, it just kind of seems like, I don't know. They're
I don't know what's going on.
The ball.
Like, yeah. I for sure thought Resync or Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resync was gonna be there because it was rated by Peggy, and that's kind of like the signal where it's just like, well, it's imminent. So like, what's going on? And since the time, I'm even more concerned about because I mean, we I'm sure you discussed it or whatever you want to call it, but like that game has been through hell and back, and like it feels like they don't know how to produce it or just how to approach this game because like I mean. It was a lightning in the bottle kind of situation, right? Like they had the right people, right time, right everything, and now it's just like, how do you get that back?
That's right. Yeah, it's very, very weird.
I don't know, it's weird. I'm still excited for it. I think hopefully it's going to be good. So we'll see. I mean, I really thought it would be out for January 2026. I think that was kind of like the goal initially, right? So.
Right. Yeah. Get it out early on and kind of in that sweet spot when it's not really all that muddied up with other big releases.
I mean, that's the thing. And you're at the mercy of every month, basically. Like wherever publishers, putting a big game out that year, you're at the mercy of them. And like January is pretty packed already, I feel like. Every month for the last like 2 or 3 years, like there's at least 2 or 3 major releases that are the talk for that month, and I don't see Prince of Persia being the talk.
Right? No,
I mean I feel like it's lost its luster.
Because at this point, it's taken so long that I feel like the excitement's kind of been.
It's kind of gone at this point. Like, I would prefer either a sequel to The Lost Crown or rebooting it.
Sure,
rebooting it entirely for 3D. I mean, my Hail Mary would be a sequel to Prince of Persia 2008. I feel like that would be incredible, but realistically, we all know like they either have to reboot it or just put it to pasture and let it just be a Metroidvania for some time and just kind of like let it be a mid-tier game for them and let them gestate on Assassin's Creed and Far Cry and Rainbow Six because those are clearly their tentpoles going forward, right? I mean.
Yep.
I didn't mention of a new Splinter Cell, new Division. They seem to have abandoned these properties.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's
kind of weird. And
it's upsetting.
Yeah, it's upsetting. I mean, I would love a new Splinter Cell, and I am that guy who liked. I think Blacklist was insane. I think it was one of my favorite games, and I actually would kind of love to see a sequel to that, but I mean, that's just here nor there. I don't know. We'll see what's gonna happen, but
Sure. Yeah.
it's just a shame. Splinter Cell. I mean, you put out a new show and not a new game. It's weird.
Oh my god. It's really upsetting.
And I don't think I even watched it. I mean, it didn't really capture me. I feel like it's just not.
I still want to watch it. I want to give it a shot, but I haven't gotten a chance yet.
I'm gonna do that over the break. I just watched Tomb Raider season 1 and I actually thought it was pretty good because
is it? Yeah.
It's based on the Survivor trilogy, so like you're getting that version of Lara Croft. So like it is a sequel to that. I think it is based off after Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So like I do like what they did with it. Like a lot of the characters are still the same. It's just, I mean, it's just time for a new Tomb Raider game. Like I'm glad the show's there, but like I'm glad that we're finally getting that game. It took a long time, right? I mean, I didn't like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and this kind of this show reignited my love for this series. So like I'm kind of excited to see what they're gonna do with it. And, I'm glad it exists because it just kind of like elevated the series back up for me again because it was a fun first season. Now I think season 2 is out today actually. So surprise. Yeah, so I would recommend watching it.
All right, yeah, I'll give it a shot.
It's like 6 episodes. It's brief, but it's fun.
Nice.
And it's just like it will make you want to play the game because we downloaded to Tomb Raider 2013 just to revisit because I think that's probably my favorite version of Tomb Raider.
I agree. Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
Were there any other announcements from the show that stuck out to you?
Yeah, there was a few things. I'm gonna pull up the list. So shout out to Dennis for doing what he does, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He took a bite out of that one for us. So I mean, let me pull up the list.
Yeah. Well, while you do, I mean, Resident Evil Requiem's.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Resident Evil Requiem. I think that was a great reveal. I mean, the worst kept secret in the world, right?
That's what I mean. Like, unfortunately, I called that one a mile away, and then the PSN leak showcasing the art, including Leon. But just to see him in action, just to hear his voice,
I love what they've done.
Ass. Yeah. I think it's really, really, really cool, and I cannot wait to be playing that game next year.
Yeah. So go back to the announcements. Yeah, there was a couple of things. So one was pre-show. I like Pragmata. I think Pragmata looks great.
Mm-hmm.
I know that it's kind of a weird hacking combat game, but I'm going to play the demo because it's available on Steam right now.
Mm-hmm.
That was one. Bradley the Badger.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
So much fun. I'm day one for that game.
Same.
I love Bradley the Badger.
That one really stood out to me.
Yeah. And then we got Divinity. I'm kind of excited for it. I don't think I've played the originals.
Okay.
But I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 is incredible. So like, that's kind of what my introduction to them was. So I'm going to go back and play the original Divinity original Sin games. And that trailer was so brutal. It was definitely, I thought it was Diablo, but surprise, surprise, Divinity. I think Coven of the Chicken Foot. I'm actually looking that up. That's Bruce Straley's new game. That looked insane. I think Ontos looks pretty good because it's the team that made Soma, and Soma's really
very good. You're right.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know how I feel about Exodus. It's cool that Matthew McConaughey is in it. I appreciate that. A lot of people that worked on Mass Effect are making this game. So like, I don't know. I'm cautiously excited for it, but I mean, from what I've seen, it looks pretty. It's just like it's a. How do you describe it? It just looks like, I don't want to say slop, but like, what's the word?
We've seen it before. It seems overly familiar.
Overly familiar. That's a good way to put it. It's just it looks like something we've played before.
Yeah.
But Screamer looked incredible. That's the racing car game.
Mm-hmm.
The cel-shaded one. The big one that kind of stood out for me, and I know we should talk about this, is Gang of Dragon, because honestly, that's insane to me. What's going on with this game?
Sure.
The fact that the creator of Yakuza left Yakuza
to make a Yakuza game.
Yeah, I mean, he made a Yakuza game, except it's starring a Korean mobster this time, which cool. I thought the trailer was pretty cool. I don't know how you feel about Street Fighter, the movie, but that
Uh,
trailer ripped.
I'll watch it. I don't have high hopes for it, but I'll watch it.
100%. I have no hope for it, but like, you know what? It looks like fun. And
Yeah,
like that's all I need from a Street Fighter game. I don't need like, a deep narrative. We know what Street Fighter is. But like
yeah,
for the most part, I think the characters match their counterparts in game, right? I mean, I
yeah.
love that it's really authentic in that regard, but
So
I thought it looks like fun. It's a fun popcorn movie. Like I'm down for it.
I completely agree, and yeah, I think it showed really well. The trailer looked really fun. We talked about it earlier, but High Guard was a very strange game to end
I
on.
honestly, yeah,
But
I was
um,
not.
I wondered how the reaction would be if Mega Man Dual Override was the final reveal because that made me pop off. I was so
100%,
excited. The
100%.
orchestra playing the music, the even just the reveal of like gameplay and everything like that. I think this game looks immaculate, and I cannot wait for a new Mega Man to be out because it's
Yeah,
been
like
way too long.
I'm with you on that. I'm the only thing I even was like I mentioned it. I'm like I'm all for Mega Man. I love Mega Man. I stand for him, but I want Mega Man Legends 3. I
Yeah,
will take that over anything else. Like that's what I want.
sure.
I fully on board with this Mega Man. I think it looks insane. I think it looks incredible. It's beautiful. But once Mega Man Legends came out, I was like, this is my Mega Man. I love the open world. I love
That's
that.
fair.
It's a departure from the platforming, but like it's just so good. It was just such a wicked story, great characters. So you know what? If this is what I have to endure to play this game and just support it, and maybe it'll give us Mega Man Legends 3, I'm all for it. So day one, I was probably my highlight. That was one of the highlights for me for sure. Mega Man Dual Override. I'm so excited for, unfortunately, 2027. I know I thought it would be closer, but you know what?
Yeah, right. But 2027 aligns with I believe it's 40th anniversary, so
Yeah,
they'll probably go really,
that's
really
insane.
hard.
That's insane. Well, I hope that's when we get Mega Man Legends 3.
Sure.
That's my one wish going forward.
Yeah.
What did you feel about like what else? I'm just going through the list. Like I feel like a lot of the stuff caught my attention.
Yeah,
I
I
think
feel like there was a lot that caught my attention, but out of things that like really made me pop off, I think
yeah,
Divinity. It's unfortunate because the Divinity was like leaked and it
yeah,
was reported on. I feel like had we not known that,
yeah,
and kind of like gone through the marketing of the statue in the Mojave Desert and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden get their night of and just boom, see the Larian Studios logo would have made me way more excited. But
yeah,
as soon as the trailer started, like you said, like it could have either been the Diablo Lords of Hatred trailer, or it could have been Divinity. And the further it went on, I was like, okay, it's Divinity, and then lo and behold, it was, and it looks
exactly.
awesome. And then hearing, that this is their kind of like most ambitious game and it's going to be larger than Baldur's Gate 3, that's very exciting. It's just
Yeah,
for the reveal, I wish that it had
yeah.
gone
Little,
the way that
little bit sooner.
they wanted it to be intended.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I wish it
Yeah.
wasn't leaked because that took the wind out of all the sales, right? So you know what,
Yeah.
rightfully so. The only other game that I can say that really caught my attention going down this list, and I
Yeah.
have to say is God, where was it? I was literally just looking at it. Ace Combat 8. I love Ace Combat.
Me too.
I thought that looked really good.
Sure.
And Phantom Blade Zero.
Oh, yeah.
Insane.
Again, I by the time we got to the end of the trailer and it's what, September 9th for that game?
September 2026. So like
Yeah. I was a
not
little
that far.
disappointed with that.
I kind of understand why, but
Of course.
I had the opportunity to play it
Mhm.
at SGF, and like it sold me. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, 100%. Like that's kind of thing. Like I feel like it's doing something very different, and unless you play it, you kind of just like it looks like a action game or whatever. But like there's just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that really calls to me. Like, I love the setting. I love the idea of like you have X amount of time to live. You gotta fight all these people that are coming after you, and like it does some really cool stuff with combat. And apparently it's been improved since the last time I played it, so it's even better. But
Sure.
that was the one that really called to me. That was like I'm there day one. So
Yep.
that's the one for sure. Other than that, I mean, everything else, honestly, like I said, caught my interest. Like Neo 3, I love Neo, so I'm down
me
for
too.
that. Don't really care for Total War Warhammer 40K. I mean, I like the one that was a couple years ago. What was it? Space Marine 2. That was fun, but like I'm not really a Warhammer guy, so like, that's fine. Hitman, I know you're a big Hitman guy, but like I haven't really played World of Assassination. I still don't really care for it. Other than that, everything else is like, I could probably wait for it.
Yep. Yeah. Overall, I had a lot of fun with it. I thought that, like we said earlier, the pacing was really well. Like we had some really good announcements, and then some, announcement that made me curious about these games and everything. And then along the way, we had some cool appearances and awards given out. I had fun. That's all.
100%.
That's all I'll say.
The only thing I was kind of disappointed about was there's no like Square Enix announcements, which kind of surprised me.
No Square Enix, no Ubisoft, no Xbox, with the exception of
there's
having the Game Pass ad that kind of confirmed Gears of War was coming 2026.
Oh, the only thing I saw was something after saying like Forza Horizon's getting a direct in January. That was the only thing I saw.
Oh, right. Yeah, because they did an interview with Variety saying that there's a developer direct in which, Lionhead, or not Lionhead, the Forza developer. Playground, thank you. Yeah, that's also doing Fable. So I don't know if it's going to be Forza or Fable that makes its way to that development direct.
I'm basically like shocked because like normally we get something, but like nothing, right? Like nothing on Fable, like nothing on like I don't even know games or Xbox is working on anymore because it canceled like 30% of their games.
I mean, they have a stacked year if everything goes right, but it was just very strange that they didn't show up in any meaningful way.
Not even a peep. It was just like silence, and that was kind of weird.
But I guess if they do have a planned developer direct, or sometime in January, that might be why 100%. They're holding everything for their own messaging. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'm fully confident we're gonna see something in January because, like, really, once Christmas is done and everyone's kind of back from the holiday, I feel like we're gonna be like seeing full steam ahead. We're gonna be seeing everyone. Like, I feel like we're gonna get a direct state of play and an Xbox showcase.
Yeah,
between January and the end of February. So
that seems pretty likely. Early on in the year, I could see all these companies kind of start talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, had a fun time. Excited that
it was a fun one.
Kept it tight,
but it was a pain to cover. So
sure.
Yeah. That's my only takeaway. It's just like it's not fun to cover these. Fun to watch, not fun to cover. So
that's very fair. Yeah. Speaking of which, Bobby, if people wanted to connect with you online, connect with the website online, keep up with everything that happened over the course of the Game Awards, where could they do so?
Yep, consolecreatures.com. Follow us on Bluesky, Instagram, TikTok. Follow me, B. Pashalides, and share our work because a lot of time and effort goes into these posts, and
that's right.
We have guys like Dennis who do a lot of really good stuff that makes it very easy to track everything that happened on an event like this. And just a quick repost and a like and a share like goes a long way. Like it helps us.
And the same goes for this show as well. If you like what we're doing, share with your friends, help us grow, because we would love to continue growing in 2026 with the show.
We have done pretty well, actually. So I mean, everyone did their wrap last week, but I mean, Console Creatures, the Creature Cast did pretty well. I mean, we're growing, and I'm always dreading to see the numbers when those wrap things come out. But like, I was surprised at just how well we've done this year, and 1,000% increase in viewers and listeners, and like,
it's good stuff.
It's crazy to me. So like, just if you can follow us and leave a review, and
Yep. Just
share it
helps
with
us
your
grow,
friends.
helps us
Helps
yeah,
us grow, help us, it gives us more opportunities, right? Like we're gonna be continuing our interviews and stuff like that, because that's kind of what I'm looking forward to doing more in 2026, right? Is speaking to more developers and people that make games, and that's what we want to be doing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can find me across the internet at Asfikvari. Again, we appreciate you all for tuning in to this episode. Like I said, next week, game of the year conversation. It's going to be a fun one. Cannot wait for that. But until next time, we'll see ya. Bye.